Hey everybody! Today I'm going to be showing you a very lightweight, fuss-free summer makeup look that is perfect for travel. It's what I love to do when I'm sightseeing so that I can spend more time enjoying my travels and less time worrying about redoing my makeup. Please let me know what you think. First step is going to be a clean, bare face, and I'm going to apply my sunscreen, which is the Elta MD UV Clear. It's a broad spectrum SPF 46. I don't know why 46, it seems like a pretty random number, but any sunscreen above an SPF 30 should be good. Yeah, this one is specially formulated for people with blemish-prone skin. It says it's for skin types prone to acne, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. I really like it. Sunscreen can have a tendency to break people out, so I do have to be really careful about what type I'm using. I'm just gonna get that all over the neck. And I'm also going to apply a layer of this sunscreen lip balm while I do the rest of my makeup so that it can sink into the lips and be really effective. Now, why is it important to put sunscreen on your lips? Your lip skin is actually pretty thin, and you can get skin cancer there as well. But also, I forget if it's UVA or UVB, but one of the types of sun rays will break down collagen in your lips, which will make them wrinkle up on the edges and look less full as you age. This is also just a nice lip balm, so why not? You can find this lip balm on Dermstore or in the men's section of Sephora. There's really nothing manly or girly or whatever about this lip balm. It's just a functional lip balm. But it does have SPF 25, and the important thing is as it dries, it doesn't turn tacky or sticky or kind of flaky like some of the others can. And I think this was like $15 or something, so a little bit pricey but not too bad. So my general philosophy for makeup that's built to withstand heat and sweat and humidity and all that is that less is more. I mean, if you cake on a full face of like multiple layers of base and a ton of product, those products are going to melt and break down at different rates, and so you're going to end up with a face that looks a bit patchy or is harder to control unless you're constantly worrying about it. And when you're on vacation or just enjoying yourself, that's the last thing you want to think about. As far as base goes, I'm going to forego foundation and just use concealer. I find that concealer has, better staying power, and when you don't cover your entire face with base and you just cover the spots that need it and leave some skin free, it makes your whole face look like you're wearing less product and more it's just your skin. So I'm going to use the Radiant Creamy Concealer, this time in shade Macadamia, which is a medium 1.5. I'm having a little bit trouble shade matching right now because I just got a deep peel at the facialist in LA, and it removed, I think, maybe like 3 or 4 layers of skin from my face. So even though I don't look that much paler, I don't think, my old shade in Ginger was a terrible match. It literally looked like I had taken some dirt and rubbed it on my face. So let's try this one. It may be a little bit off, but we'll do our best. Just apply it on your blemishes, on the places where you need to actually conceal something. So I'm gonna hit this little spot here. Just dot it on any darker marks that you might have or acne scars, stuff like that. Shade looks alright. It's not perfect, but it's doable. It's workable. Now for your nose, you do not want to put concealer on the tip of your nose. 1, because it'll look very unnatural, and 2, because it will slide right off as soon as you start sweating. So what I do is put some just to cover up this red area on the perimeter. Just there. And a little bit on the under eye, but honestly not too much. You want your skin to look as natural and fresh as possible. So then I'm taking this damp sponge and blending out the dots of concealer that I put on. Make sure that's well blended, and then get the other side in the same way. I just think it looks so stuffy to see like a full face of primer and foundation and concealer and then contour, unless you're going to like an evening party or something. But just for everyday summer wear, I really like this much lighter, more minimalist approach. So go in with this. that's it for the base. It's not going to be flawless, but it is going to be a lot lower maintenance. I think that's important in the summer especially, because like I said, if you cake it on, it's just gonna run off in rivulets as you sweat anyway, unless you really cake it on. But that just looks uncomfortable. Let's do brows. I always like to do my brows first because it kind of sets the tone for the entire face. And in the summer, I found that brow pencils are absolutely useless. I mean, I've tried a bunch of them, right? And they all just sort of smear off, or if they don't run off directly, they become really unfixed as you sweat. And if you accidentally touch your brow, it'll, take away a chunk of the color. And you might not notice, which is the worst thing, so that would be really awkward. You could use something like the Makeup Forever Aqua Brow, which is like gel that's really waterproof. However, for this look, I'm just gonna use my Boy Brow. It's, a brow mascara. And just put that directly onto the hairs themselves. I find that when you do that, your sweat will, come down on your skin, but it won't mess with the brow hairs so much. And, I don't have the thickest eyebrows, but they're not non-existent either. So for this look, it's enough to give it just a little bit of emphasis and color that way. So this is the Boy Brow in black. Just gonna brush the natural hairs in the direction that they grow. So we're not going for a super defined or sharp look, but more of a natural boost to our existing hairs. See the difference? Kind of. If you're doing this method and you have a clear waterproof mascara, you can also give them a run, a quick run through with that. It'll help the hair stay in place and sort of seal in the color a tiny bit, but do use a very light hand when you're doing that, otherwise it can look very stiff and awkward later on. Okay, so that's done, the brows. Then for my eyes, I'm gonna keep the eyeshadow color pretty simple and matte. I find that overly shimmery colors in the sun and the sweat, it just tends to look a bit overdone and not natural. And I'm going to be using this really handy YSL, what's it called? Eyebrow Smoker. This is the one in shade 3, which is sort of a cooler toned dark brown and a champagne shimmer. And it's kind of a cream stick formula, so it has better staying power than powders, which can just completely run off when you sweat. So all I'm going to do is open this darker side and use it kind of like an eyeliner. So just drawing a smudgy line near my lash line like this. And smudge out the color upward to make it a bit smoky. This creates a soft wash of color that isn't too overwhelming and doesn't look too sharp and precise. So if you do sweat and need to rub your eyes or something, it won't get irreversibly messed up. Then on the other side of the Smoker Duo is the champagne color. So I'm going to use that to just highlight my eyes a tiny bit. I don't have this deep hollow on the inner corner of my eye, but if you do have that, I was just putting it there. I'm going to put it a little bit higher on this curve because that suits my eye shape a little better. So I focused on putting it right here and then blending it upward and outward so that it sort of naturally diffuses. Alright, eyeshadow done. I'm also not going to put on a heavy eyeliner because even waterproof eyeliners don't always hold up to the sweat and humidity of being outside for a very long time. So we're going to focus on lashes and the lash line instead. I have really short eyelashes, so I'm going to need to curl them using my handy travel curler from Japonesque. Next, we're going to go in with this liquid waterproof eyeliner from Makeup Forever. It's the Aqua XL. So So far it seems to hold up pretty well. I wore it to a really sweaty hot yoga class and it kind of peeled off, but that's sort of an exception. This one is in black. Pull our eyelid up to expose our lash line and just sort of dot it on. This creates a thin and fairly natural looking line without risking getting the eyeliner into your eye itself, which is good for, you know, beginners like me. I don't normally use a liquid eyeliner, so I'm still learning how to get the hang of it. Oops. And we're not going to draw a wing or anything because I think it would be too hard to maintain the sharp shape of the wing when you get a lot of moisture involved. So we'll just leave it at that, sort of more natural looking. And then apply a coat of our waterproof mascara, still using this Missha Super Extreme with a small brush. And focusing on the bottom part of the lashes to make them look a little bit thicker. I'm not going to put on falsies because that glue can sort of come undone when you sweat, and especially if you're going to go swimming, they will look a mess. Alright, so that's basically it for the eyes. It's a pretty simple look. You're just sort of emphasizing it without being too sharp and precise. Next, I'm not going to do any like bronzer or contouring or anything like that, but we are going to put a little bit of a cheek tint on just for a little color. You can basically use any tint that you have. You know, a lip tint also works well as long as you work quickly before it sets in. But I'm going to use this Skinfood, what's it called? Fresh Fruit Lip and Cheek Trio. You would think I'd know what it's called because I've talked about it like 10 times already. But anyway, I'm going to use this orange color. Just using my finger, I'm going to pick up some of the color. It's quite bright. And just dot it across like this. And sort of blend it out. I put it a little bit higher and sort of straight across the cheekbone because I think that imitates a natural flush more precisely. You don't need a ton of color because you're probably going to get red from the sun and sweating and everything too. So do the other side. Okay, so blush is done. You might think that you don't need blush actually because you're going to look flushed from the heat, but I actually think that playing into what's naturally going to happen is a useful concept when doing your makeup. So this sort of makes it a bit more even, you know? Next, we're going to do the lips. I really like a lip tint in the summer rather than a heavier matte liquid lipstick or something like that because the tint is going to fade in a very natural and pretty way. And it's not something that, you know, kind of like with the eyes, it's not something that you need to maintain a super sharp and precise lip line for, which is always helpful because maintaining that crispness with the lines is going to be really difficult when you're out in the heat and you're, you know, sightseeing and you just want to focus on the things that you're doing rather than always touching up your makeup and stuff. So I'm going to use this kind of strange product that I actually really, really like. It's by the Saem, something like that, and it's called the Eco Soul Tint in Oil. This is in the shade Wild Berry. It's it's a little bit lighter than what it looks like here. It's like a sort of pinkish, purplish, magenta color. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a lip tint in oil, so your lips will be moisturized, and then as the oil sort of absorbs and dries, it'll dry down to a really nice, pretty tint. So what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit all over. go back in one more time in the inside. Make that color a little bit more vivid. You can see it's a bit shiny right now, but it's going to dry down a little bit even before you walk out of the door. And last but not least, we're going to set everything with a setting spray. I have the Urban Decay De-Slick Spray, which I've actually never used before. I'm just going to try it right now. But basically any setting spray that you like will do. You just want to sort of set the blush and the eye makeup a little bit. Why does this have two caps? There's like this outside cap and then this cap. Why? This says give it a good shake, prime the pump a couple times. And I don't think that you need highlighter actually, because the sheen of your sweat will act as a natural highlighter on your cheekbones. But you can certainly apply some before the setting spray if you wanted. And that's basically the look. It's super simple, very lightweight and breathable makeup that is perfect for traveling. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.